So we've got the draws in. We've got the draws in.
Yes.
And my man is back. My partner in crime, Mike.
Yes,
welcome back.
I'm back.
Shout out to Sour Skittles for keeping us, you know.
And shout out to these wonderful lidded Dixie cups. I saw someone like a week ago or whatever mention in the chat that they were bringing these. Very clutch move to have lidded cups when we're around all this electronic equipment.
Yeah.
So the two songs that made it through here are Monolith S21 and Gothique Resonance S21. And you could not pick two charts that are less alike while being the same difficulty.
Right, exactly.
Monolith S21 is a brutal, basically non-stop stream chart that is pretty straightforward. It has some pivoting and whatever, but it's pretty much like a stamina chart. It's like almost a reference to an old ITG custom or the song that is just unrelenting stamina.
Yeah,
on the other side.
3, right?
Huh?
It was the unreleased ITG3 chart, right?
No. It was, I don't know if it was, but there was a custom. There was like a custom USB file, like back in the days of edits before like the R21 patch. That was called Monolith Stamina Killer, and it was basically just wall-to-wall stream.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so I think that the Monolith, S21 kind of has echoes of that.
Because it was just an S16 before they added the S21.
No, I'm talking about it in a groove.
Oh,
I'm talking about it in a groove. I'm talking about it in a groove. We're talking going all the way back to 2005, way before the song was even.
It's got a history.
Yeah, way
right? before
the song was even added to bump it up.
But
Gothique Resonance is the total opposite.
Right.
Gothique Resonance is a brutal side pivot chart. It like lulls you into sleep. It is so brutal. The song itself is like very repetitive. It's just got this like bada-bum, 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 kind of like rhythm, and it has side pivots where you're doing, the upright center, down right center, upright, and you're doing back and forth, and you're back and forth. And the thing is, the pace at which you turn from right to left, left to right, it's not perfect. It's not like you go 1, 2, 3, turn 1, 2, 3, turn 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Sometimes you stay one direction for 5 or 7 steps, and then you turn very briefly, then you go back. That is my single worst skill in the entire game, and that is Hudson's best, maybe. Hudson is incredible at that song, and he's incredible at that step chart. And in fact, that pattern first started to really emerge. You've seen it all throughout the game's history. It's in Hello William S19. It's in, we saw even yesterday a very small version of it in like Reality S15.
Yes,
it's
a
chart that it's a pattern that's very common, but Gothique Resonance is kind of like the final form of it. And Hudson has to be salivating because Infinity, a game that Hudson was a big part of the development team for, is full of that pattern.
Yeah.
And I've long talked about it with him, and so I think that Hudson is gonna crush Gothique Resonance.
Right. And while we're talking about Infinity, like Monolith was also in the Pro Series, correct? I believe it was Pro 2.
That's where the transition point was. So Monolith was an In the Groove 2 chart. And then it was a pretty tough S11 in the Groove 2.
There we go, yeah.
And then in Pump Pro 1, I want to say it was introduced because that game has Kyle Ward's influence all over it. It was a Roxor game, and that was how we saw the introduction of stuff like Monolith, Hardcore of the North. What else? Zuza, Utopia. All of those songs were brought over around the era of like Pro 1, Pro 2. NX2, NX1, I believe even, NXA, and then into Fiesta. Fiesta 1, Fiesta EX was when we started to really see those Western songs start to get hit. Monolith the S21 is a new chart. It was new to XX. It was added as a reward for clearing missions, I want to say. You had to clear some absurd number of missions, and it's brutal.
Real quick, time out, bro.
Yes.
I love what you're saying here, but a new Dasu chart. They just played it, right?
Yes, there's a new Dasu chart, yes.
Can you pronounce that chart name?
Hold on, let me get a good look at it. Numa Yay. That's, I believe, the
that's
pronunciation.
A lot, right?
Yeah.
Pneumo Microscope Volcano Locus.
Micro, Ultra, whatever. It doesn't matter. The name of the song doesn't matter.
Yeah,
the name of the song doesn't matter, but it is pretty funny. It's like we've got bookending. We've got Nakapaga Paga Baga Baga Bong and Pneuma whatever, and then in the middle you just have 86 which anyone can pronounce. It's simple.
So we're going into this. Here's Monolith.
Here we go. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is a foot speed and stamina test. Let's see how they do.
Musically, it reminds me so much of HVAM, right? You just hear it. It's almost the same BPM, I believe, and the intro and the stop and everything else. But it's such a definitive sound on its own, like especially in that middle part. But look at how clean they're hitting those
Both
side
players
fuses.
hitting the side pivots really well.
Everybody's just calling it 87 in the chat, by the way.
That's fair.
That's fair. Oh, look at that pure foot speed by both players. June's moving so fast it doesn't even look like his legs are moving. And then over there on Gem's side, you just see it. It's just like wiggles.
It's very interesting. I have a good angle to see their feet. It's very interesting to see the angle with which their feet are hitting, how much they're relying upon using their heels, their
Heel toe
toes.
movement. Yep.
Both players slipping up in the exact same section
Yep.
almost. Both, though, very, very clean runs so far.
Slight combo advantage goes to Gem, but I don't think that's going to matter
Oh, no,
enough.
that's
It's
not
definitely
gonna
going to come down to who has the accuracy here. Into the brackets.
Yep. This pretty easy rest section. Opportunity to catch your breath a little bit before you get into this last long
Here we
screen
go.
here.
Oh, another miss by Gem, but here we go. Let's see how they do in the death runs.
Both
Look at
players
that pure
doing
foot speed.
wonderfully right now.
June is locked in.
Yep, June is
Look at their faces,
June
chat.
using a little bit of a hop skip cheat strategy here occasionally to not do some of these crossovers.
Oh, look.
Gem
oh,
hits
drops
one.
it there.
Gem hits one of them legit that June was trying to cheat. That may be an opportunity to pick up a little bit of an edge for him.
Right.
At
We're
the
gonna
very,
see.
very, very end
We're gonna
there,
see.
June, you could tell, was trying to take advantage of tech over raw foot speed.
Wow.
And by a pretty, I would actually say it's only 5,000 points, but that feels like a pretty big margin. It felt like they were neck and neck the entire time, and Gem takes it by not a lot, but enough.
Yeah.
I think that it's very possible that when we go to collect the final scores, there will be a player who finishes between Gem and harujun, and that little tiny bit of point difference could be what keeps harujun out of top 4.
Oh, 100%. Every step counts. We've
yeah.
been talking about this all weekend. Every step matters. Step with intention, step with purpose. Nothing is going to show that off more than right here with GR. This is going to be an insane chart. The twists, the turns, you can see it. Gem is actually already taking like that deep breath of like mentally preparing himself. How am I going to hit these turns? How am I going to keep up with the Phenom? How is this going to play out?
Both players, an amazing job on Monolith. I don't know anything about how either of them will handle this, but I do want to note also a big difference. Look, on the left side, June playing 600 AV. On the right, Gem playing a 719 AV.
Yeah.
That is a tremendous difference in
I'm
speed.
so excited
That's
for this
a tremendous difference in comfort. This is a big
Two
big
players
matchup
at
right
the
here.
prime of their careers right now, definitely. Like, Gem has been cracked, so is June. I mean, we've talked so much about his skill set coming up in the recent years, but, you know, Gem getting all that pandemic practice behind the cab and really focusing on his tech and style.
You'll notice right now, Gem is cheating to just hit these 8th notes. So is June. They're both trying to conserve energy. They're not wasting anything turning during those easy 8th
Neither
note
phased
patterns.
by the brackets so far.
Nope. Interesting to note that the gimmick here stayed.
Yeah, it did.
We've seen a lot of other gimmicks get taken out. Here we go. So this song is all just a slow build to what Drake accurately described earlier as a almost hauntingly repetitive patterning right here. So this is kind of a preview section. This is a relatively easy version of this side pivot tech.
Yep.
Right now, both players are hitting it cleanly, and I am not surprised. Players of their caliber will always hit something like this cleanly. But what comes next?
Look at that clean. Oh my word.
What comes next is where the gods will be separated from the men.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
the section here after this slight break is so tough.
I mean, it's
the
almost
number
like
of runs,
we're going with that skull in the background right there, you know? It's like, this is what's happening.
Here we go. Let's see.
Oh, both of them drop it early.
But both. Oh, you can see it. Gem has resorted to cheating. He lost the rhythm, and when you lose the rhythm, it's very hard to get back. And he's now just relying entirely on it. Meanwhile, June is an impressive demonstration of exactly how to hit these difficult side pivots. Amazing job from both players. Gem keeping the life bar up the whole time, even with the non-combos. But June really nailing the finale.
My word.
Huge
That's
gap
a
in the
huge
scores. I told you this would be what it comes down to. It all comes down to the last 15, 20, 25 seconds of the song. The ability of June there to hit all of those patterns legit
Let's
and only
get a
have
clip.
a few minor errors
Yeah.
is just enough to make a crushing difference.
Yeah, we have to clip
Crushing
that.
difference.
We have to clip that performance by Harujun. It's one of the highest level performances of the tournament so far.
Absolutely.
Getting that tech, getting those twists, staying with it, the accuracy demands, the technical demands, and the body control. The Phenom nailed it.
Right now, both players are looking pretty solid, but I feel like June is absolutely. I feel like June is absolutely in the driver's seat.
Hold the glass for a second.
June's performance just there on Gothique Resonance is going to be hard to beat. I
really
think
is.
that maybe Hudson will beat. I don't know about either of these two. I don't know how good they are at that chart, but it's going to be hard to get much better than what June just did on Gothique Resonance. So it's very likely that he's locked in the first or second place of points for that song.
I believe he is.
And
I really do. I don't see anybody like right now. I would be hard surprised to see somebody perform on GR that level.
And
right?
his Monolith performance was still very good. It
still
wasn't
very
as
good,
good
yeah.
as Grant's, but it wasn't bad. And so right now I think June is in a much better position than Grant. There's just so much more of a gap between June's scores and Grant's. June's score and Grant's on Gothique Resonance compared to the gap the other way on Monolith.
But it's all going to come down to the other four that are still left in the
Oh,
field,
absolutely.
Right? It's
And that's
really
one of
going
the
to see where, like you said, the gods from the men and women of the tournament, it's really going to have that separation factor.
The reason that there's a piano song in the background is that you might be hearing the music diver cabinets behind us.
Yeah.
And for that, I am sorry, but
They're pretty loud.
Nothing can be done.
We'll talk louder. No,
I'll scream at the top of my lungs. No, here we go.
They're gonna
it looks
get a
like
quick warm-up.
Eggplant are getting the warm-up in. So if I'm in their shoes, for my warm-up here, I am playing a chart that tests the skill that they know that they have to work on here.
I'm playing a twisty chart.
I'm playing Hello William S19.
Yes.
100%. I'm playing Hello William S19 here.
So
Hello William S19 is the absolute perfect chart to get yourself loose, get yourself in that mindset.
It does look like both of them are going to pick an 18 just to kind of like calm themselves down, get back in the play. Futher's a good selection for this, actually.
I don't think it's bad, but
it's not Hello William.
I'd be playing something Hello William S19. I would be playing the Dreamcatcher S20. That's 150 BPM that I'm blanking on the name of right now. Not Good Night, Not Chase Me. What is it? The one that's 150.
I'm trying to remember.
Oh my gosh! I would be playing that. I would be playing something like that. I think that when you are warming up to do a specific song, it is a really good idea to play a similar song. So, for example,
Fly High.
Fly High.
Yeah,
thank
Fly
you.
High.
Yeah,
thank you.
That would be what I would be playing right now is Fly High S20 or something in that vein, because I think that it helps so much. If you want, for example, let's say you know that you have to play She Likes Pizza S21 or S22 or whatever.
Yeah.
Play another song that's 200. Play a Chicken Wing. Play a Chase Me. Play something like that.
Oh, Chicken Wing would have been an excellent one. Good call out.
Yeah, I think that when you are playing these really twist-heavy songs that have a specific twisting pattern, it's good to just get yourself in that mindset already. Like, know where you are. Playing a more straightforward song like this, obviously it helps a little bit, but I think that for both players, this is just kind of a comfort, like a song that's like, it's kind of like a relaxing, like a walk in the park.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know how much it will get them in the right space to do the next two charts.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's an element of tournament strategy that has not yet been like really fully explored. I wonder if we will eventually see that touched on more. But you'll notice, like, this is a very like drill heavy, but like front forward facing chart. It's not the kind of thing that has almost any similarity to the two charts that they're going to be playing after.
So it's more of a wake up the legs sort of situation.
But I think personally, if I were in their shoes, I would be playing something more targeted. You need to get up?
No, I'm just standing up for a quick second. Sitting down for 3 hours, and also just trying to take a quick peek at the actual foot tech a little bit behind the scenes here.
For sure.
And like both of them get a pretty clean run in on this. Like you said, it's a little bit like a comfort food run for them right now.
Which I mean, I understand the appeal of it. I understand that maybe you don't want to risk accidentally tiring yourself out, gassing yourself out. But I think that when you are at this level of a tournament and you're playing at this high of a skill level, it's really, I think it would be a good idea. I think that it's something that players should start approaching more seriously, is what they play as their warm-up. Finding finding a thing that gets them in the correct state, the flow state for what they want.
Yeah, so now that we're going into Monolith, now that you and I have stretched our legs slightly,
yes,
let's run into this, right?
Marco is a
yeah, we're hype.
Marco is absolutely correct. We could have a little bit of angle shooting in the Pump It Up community. Just a little bit of like, hey guys, that was actually my run for real. I swear.
Right.
I didn't understand that I was supposed to play a warm-up song. But then if you do badly, you go, oh, that was just a warm-up. And I'm really smart, and I warmed up by playing the song, so I'd be a little more familiar with it. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I hope they both brought their lungs. This has got to be. I'm actually kind of curious. I don't know who made the In the Groove 2 step chart for Monolith, but it's possible that Mr. Dread made the actual step chart
that would be awesome.
For the 4-panel.
That would be awesome. Like if that's a great piece of lore if that's true.
Both players right now handling the song quite comfortably.
Oh, look at that foot speed by both of them. They're just going incredibly ham right now. They know what's at stake. Oh, Eggplant gets a miss on that upper right arrow.
I got to imagine.
Oh, look, we got one
miss.
from Dread, though, too.
So both players are looking to get in the 990Ks to be comfy.
Yeah.
Remember, we had a 987, I think, for June, and a 981 for Grant? Mm-hmm. Or the other way around? Sorry, the other way around. 987 for Grant, 981 or something for June. So both players have got to be very, very clean here to get an edge.
Okay, so Eggplant's taking it away here a little bit. Definitely has a higher combo, but again, everybody here knows this. Pump scoring changed. So it's all about just pushing through. Here we go into the death
Any of those perfects as possible.
Look at that foot speed. That is just absolutely incredible.
Wow. Eggplant really crushing it on these late strings here. One
unfortunately
slight
drops
slip
it.
up, but both players have made about the same number of errors. Eggplant might actually even have fewer non-combos, but both really struggling with that last final pivot run of Doom. I don't even think it's fatigue. I mean, fatigue plays a part, but I also just think it's incredibly hard to hit those.
It is incredibly hard to hit
They are by
those, so
far the hardest patterns of the chart.
Yeah.
They're very fast. They involve going across the front.
Look at that.
So yeah, Dread with the 983K, Eggplant with the 975. If I'm not mistaken, Dread's score. Can we see the scores for the because I think what I said earlier about the small gap between Dread and June might have actually come into play. I think that between Gem and June, I think that Dread may have filled that tiny little gap. I'm not positive, but I think he may have, and that's one extra point towards the finals that give him the advantage. Yup, I was right. Dread with the 983K, June with the 981. So right now, Dread is slightly ahead of June.
Wow.
If Dread does not perform as well on the Reverie, he would still be able to maybe take a tiebreaker, a theoretical tiebreaker.
Sure.
So very, very, very exciting. But another kind of externality of that is that so far, Gem is in the leaderboard. Gem is in first place position on Monolith, which really, really helps out his case. Even with his weaker showing on the Reverie, right now he's doing okay.
Wow.
I think that, unfortunately, what's going to happen here is we're going to see a really, really, really good performance on the Reverie from Dread.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
I think
he
so
seems
too.
dialed in on side pivots today. So let's see.
Well,
I don't know about Eggplant. I don't know how she feels about this. I know she's more of a doubles player, and those kinds of side pivots are a doubles pattern, but they can be hard to replicate when you're on the outer edges of the pad as opposed to being more in the half doubles position. So we'll see how she does.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, like you said, this is a make or break chart, right?
Yeah.
This is one of those you have to both know the chart, know the patterns, preemptively strike those patterns, and get your body in the correct position. Because we saw what happened with Grant. Unfortunately, he just didn't get the side turns the same way June did, but the way June was able to turn his body and get that real solid body control in effect, that's why he had such a high score. Let's see if these players can do it. Clearly, they're on their road right now to doing it.
Right now, like I said, players at this skill level are going to hit this pattern. They can do it consistently in their sleep. The question is, can they do the second half? And that is a much bigger ask.
Oh, we got a drop by Dread.
Slight error.
Eggplant's keeping it going, though.
Yep.
Look at Eggplant.
She's
Look
killing
at
it right
that.
now. She is looking great right now. She's She's got an amazing run going into the lull here. The question is, will she be able to stick with it all the way through? We already saw Grant do an incredible job up to this exact same point in the chart and then struggle with the finish.
Yep.
It's so easy to fall off the rhythm. And the question is, if you fall off the rhythm, can you at least salvage it? Right now, both of them hitting, Eggplant with a slight misstep, Dread as well. Neither player's run has been perfectly clean, but they're both looking a lot more comfy than Gem did, but less so than June. June is going to comfortably take this song out of the first 4 players.
But neither one of them quit.
Sure. Yeah. Oh no, they both did a great job, and they both pushed through. And that's why, like I was saying, with Grant's run was still a very estimable, good performance.
Absolutely.
But ultimately, both of these players were able to stick with the side pivots for a very long time.
Absolutely.
And
Neither one of them started doing the heel toe step.
And they were able to, as a result, get better scores by 16 and 22K than Grant did. And so, unfortunately for Grant, this, I think, is the end of his tournament.
It might be, yeah.
But an amazing run still. And they, those 2 players both showed a very, very valuable skill, which is recognizing when you have kind of lost it and figuring out how to not lose all of it.
Right.
It's like a sunk cost fallacy kind of thing. When you start to fall in the hole, do you sink deeper and deeper into the quicksand, or do you find a way out of it?
Exactly.
And they both did a very good job of getting out of a predicament and salvaging decent scores.
Absolutely, and you definitely saw them keeping the tech involved. You saw only 1 miss by Dre, right? He had the lower score overall, but only 1 miss because he was consistently trying to put his body in the right positions to get that accuracy, get those arrows by any means necessary, continuing to fight through. So, yeah. So here's the other couple of notes here. So first off, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go through the chat real quick here. So I hope you make it to your Costco trip today, Chan Chan. You know, I don't know why that's there. Eggplant has gotten so good, right? She really has. It's on full display right here, right? Yep. Representing incredibly well. Hudson warmed up on GR earlier. Is apparently a call out there.
Yeah,
so,
I'm not so surprised.
Not surprised.
That's not surprising in the slightest.
Right.
Where? What are we waiting on here?
I think we're going. So yeah, we're ready to. Yeah, so we're ready to go here. So right now, we've only got.
Oh, he's just gonna play separately.
Yeah. Okay.
He's right. Hudson's right behind you.
Interesting. All right, so I guess we're gonna let T-Swag run solo, which is fine. I mean,
no. Who knows? I am curious.
He gets an early drop there, unfortunately.
For me personally, if I'm in his position, I would I would probably want to stop. I would rather play with someone next to me and at least not have the arrows going.
Yeah.
But let's see how T-Swag pushes through it. He's a gamer. He's a much better player than I am. So he's gonna push through. He's gonna try his best.
Mental toughness right now.
Absolutely.
Right?
He's doing great so far.
Yeah.
He's had a few non-combos, but mostly
slightly
a very
struggling with the foot
run.
speed, but again, he is pushing through. He's trying his, he knows accuracy is the name of the game right now. He's not stopping.
This is the kind of chart that a really strong 4-panel player will be able to handle, I think, because it's not that T-Swag by any means lacks the tech to do some of the weirder charts like Gothique Resonance, but he absolutely, this is the wheelhouse. This is like the Ryu and Ken of dance game charts. It's a very to the point, hard 21. He's doing pretty great, but he's having a little bit of struggle. Like you said, the foot speed, he's just not quite there. It's very hard to do these legit.
Yeah, you can tell I really do think fatigue's starting to set in for him just a little bit. You can definitely tell. He doesn't have his iconic hat on. He's definitely.
I wonder if he was prepared fully. If he kind of mentally was not in the right space for it because of kind of starting it suddenly. But I also think that just the raw foot speed input is pretty tough.
It is definitely one to keep up with, especially if you're just strained, right? If you're just strained from playing doubles in DDR, from being in DDR regular, from coming over here. It is hard to do that jump between the different games. But also, to your point, the mentality shift that you have to make between the different games. Hey, I'm playing Pump now versus hey, I'm playing DDR now. Hey, I'm playing whatever the case may be.
Yeah, no, doing really, really fast, long streams like that is not something that DDR players have to encounter all that often. DDR is a game that has relatively few like extended 200-ish stream charts.
Right.
And so I often see players that are coming over from that game to this one. They have really great DDR stamina, and it's a completely different thing because DDR stamina is more about, it's a lot of times about like step jumping type stuff. It's a lot of the times about doing like really difficult, precise like Scoobies and stuff like that. But the like pure raw note input isn't as high. And so I wonder if that was maybe a little bit of a stumbling point for him.
Yep.
Still a very good run, but I will say I'm a little surprised because I thought he was going to hit that one out of the park, and it's clear that there was something that wasn't clicking. I don't know what it was, but again, he's entered in like a billion different games, and
he's amazing.
And he's been playing really well all weekend. So one less than perfect run on Monolith should by no means be discouraging because he's been playing great otherwise.
Absolutely.
So.
And the reality of it is that, you know, he's an amazing member of the community. He's been active in almost every single thing that you can dream up for dance games. And so I'm just super excited to see him continue to compete and continue to advance to these high level areas of the tournament.
For sure. He's an incredibly nice, friendly guy, and I want to see how he does here. I want to see how he handles this chart. Like I said, this is very much a chart. You've got to really build comfort with it. You got to really, really play this one a lot to get a feel for how to nail the ending.
Unfazed so far going into the brackets.
I do not suspect he'll struggle with the brackets. I think that he will probably do pretty well here on this beginning side pivot chart.
Oh, unfortunately picks up a few
slightly fast, I believe, while doing that that kind of untwisting M run like pattern. But so far so good otherwise.
Yeah, you can definitely see it on his face a little bit here too. He's getting tired. Like he's definitely getting to the point where he's having to breathe a little bit heavier. His legs are feeling a little bit hard, but he's still gutting it out so heavily right now. And
yeah, for sure.
I'm definitely just like proud of him putting in these amazing effort.
Oh, I mean, he's doing a wonderful job thus far, and as we've seen, the ending is unbelievably brutal. It's very possible that even with these slight errors here in the middle and in the early goings, he can just still crush the last two scores we just saw out of Eggplant and Dread. All it takes is one really clean, crispy run here, and he could easily get himself back into it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it may not be in the cards, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He knows what's up.
Yep.
He knows what's up.
Yeah, a lot of love to T-Swag.
The moment that you hit that part and you realize like this ain't for me.
Yeah.
You tend to check out pretty quickly. I can relate to the experience.
Exactly. And you mentioned earlier, like you were talking about this a little bit too. It's like, how do you make that shift? This is one of those charts that just has that factor to it. You know, It's like, I know that this is coming up. I know that this is going to be a massive problem. You know, and having to overcome that is a skill in and of itself.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. It's difficult to like go back and forth between the games, but it's even more difficult to go back and forth between the games when you are playing games that, while on the surface are very similar.
Yeah.
Underneath the hood could not be any less similar. The types of stuff that you are expected to do in DDR and the types of stuff that you're expected to do in Pump are very infrequently intertwined.
Absolutely.
Yes, you are stepping your feet on arrows to music quickly. And in basically every other regard, the games are total opposites.
Absolutely.
There are a few charts that feel like they could have easily been in the other game, but for the most part, songs like the one we just saw, there's nothing in DDR that has those kinds of patterns. It's not really even like possible for DDR to have those kinds of patterns. It would be some kind of really convoluted left, down, right kind of deal.
So what do you think about KAZE's warm-up here with Ultimatum S21?
This is a comfort pick for him to get loose on, yeah. It does have some side pivoting, I'm pretty sure, and Hudson's very solid on this chart. I'm pretty sure that he played this one with Zello when he was in Texas. If I'm not mistaken, they posted a picture of them playing it on Twitter or something. It's a fast tempo, so it gets the legs loose for Monolith. It's only it's 7 BPM, I think, faster than Monolith, so it gets the legs warm.
Gets locked into that speed, so you're hitting the window very well.
Yep. And I believe that the ending has similar, not nearly to the same level of difficulty, but does have side turns like Gothique Resonance. And also Gothique Resonance is just such a comfort pick for Hudson that he doesn't even need to warm up for it. He literally played it as a warm up apparently. So like this is basically, Hudson is warming up for Monolith with this pick. He is saying, I want to play something around Monolith's BPM.
So let's think about this for a second, right? You know, so Drake's saying in the chat, Ultimatum S21 is a foot speed with breaks and the patterns obtained. But Hudson's absolutely crushing it right now. I do believe that this was, again, a comfort pick for Monolith, like you were saying there. I definitely agree with that. Just getting the legs loose again. And so now Zello's actually saying that they played Dignity S21, Ugly DS17, some 3-player co-ops, Gargoyle co-op. That would have been fun to see.
Okay.
And KAZE's still a beast. Like, you know, to answer your question, Superito, KAZE's still a beast, right?
Yes. Yeah. So we just got a note from producers that T-Swag was saying that there was a bit of an issue with slipperiness on the 2-player side. That was kind of what was frustrating him. You could kind of tell from the way his face was kind of emoting that he was a little frustrated, not necessarily with his own play, and it was difficult to know why.
Or with the,
but it's pretty easy to understand why that would be the case if I can't see it. It looks like there's baby powder next to the pads. I don't know who would have used that. I don't know if it was used before T-Swag played or what. Yeah. When the pads are slippery, it can be really, really distracting, especially if you have a certain kind of play style. My play style really, really notices it because I already play in socks.
Yeah,
and
you
so
see J-Boy talking to Hudson right now and saying, hey, you know, are you seeing any of this? Is there, you know, anything like that? Like, can we do anything to avoid this?
All it takes is a tiny amount of dirt on the pads, and they can feel like you are on an ice hockey rink. If you like walk into the arcade after like stepping in like a tiny pile of dirt and you immediately get on the pads, that little bit of dirt will create so much, not whatever the opposite of friction is, and you just slide, you glide. It's very difficult.
So here we go with Monolith. He's definitely warmed up off of that last run of Ultimatum.
For
you can see he's playing super loose. His face is just, it's all over his face. He's like, yeah, I got this. I'm going to be locked in, and we're going to go through.
Yeah, I think Hudson is primed to kill this one.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, here right there, Superito, you can tell he's still beasting, right? So Hudson's he's always going to be a beast in these dance games. He's always going to be that wild card, right? So look at how clean those steps are right there. Zello coming up with the puns here as we cross into 5:30. So
having no problem whatsoever.
None.
With the foot speed.
You know that he knows this song so well and the charts so well.
I mean, Hudson knows every chart really well, so that's not really too much of a. But again, if you are a long-time 4-panel player like Hudson is, you know Monolith even more than as a 5-panel song, as a 4-panel song. And I'm sure that this is a bit like eating a nice home-cooked plate of okonomiyaki or something for him. He's just crushing it.
Absolutely.
He is hitting everything clean.
Look at that.
He is mixing it up between crossing over and cheating. You see there, he shuffled his feet right to left. He shuffled left to right. He hit M-runs, cheated.
Oh, unfortunate drops. But that's okay. They were like right at the end. There was only a few.
Combos. This is still going to be...
This has to be one of the better runs.
It's probably a 990K. He's probably in first place on this song, if I had to guess. He only had a few combo breaks, and he generally did a great job. Yep,
990K, right on the money. Good job, man. Right on the money. So, yeah, 9-1-2-5. Yep. Incredible run by Hudson, really setting the tone.
Very, very solid. Like I said, if you watch carefully, the entire beginning of the chart, he was crossing over everything. But right at the end of the chart, when it gets to the absolute nastiest patterns, when it has these left to right, like triples, like up left, center up right, into like a down right to the left M run, Hudson cheats it. He recognizes that hitting that pattern at 196 is nearly impossible, even for the best players in the world. It's nearly impossible, and Hudson accommodates his style, and he goes from playing with crossovers to playing with cheating. He plays across the middle, and even with smaller feet, his foot control, his ankle control is so precise that he's able to hit those M runs cleanly.
Right.
He is the consummate all-around player.
He really
He's
is.
really, really
and
incredible.
having that forethought and knowledge to prep yourself to say, okay, no, I know that I'm not going to turn here. I know on these specific steps, I'm going to double step. I'm going to heel toe. I'm going to cross it. Whatever positioning you need to make for that is.
Let's go, Hudson.
Yeah.
This is Hudson's national anthem, I think. this is the Nation of Hudsonia's theme song.
It would not surprise me if like their flag was that skull right in the middle.
Absolutely.
You know?
He can PFC this. He can absolutely PFC this. Will he right now? Maybe not, but he can.
Yep.
He can do it. He can do it with his eyes closed. So we'll see.
Easily coming into 200 without any issue whatsoever, right into the brackets. It's almost expected at this point with Hudson.
No,
He's just going to kill this part, right?
Yeah. No,
So
again, players at this level, this is elementary for
it
them.
takes a lot to phase him,
Yeah.
right?
He's gonna. The difference between Hudson and any other player playing this song is for any other player, the part at the end is something that you dread. You are trying to figure out in your brain as you're playing through the song, can I handle the ending?
He just loves
Hudson
wild
is looking
patterns like
forward
that.
to the ending.
He really is.
Hudson is salivating at the thought of doing the ending.
He's
Right
almost
now,
got a smile on his face right now. You can kind of
yeah.
see he's locked in,
He's
but he's
crushing
like,
it.
I know what's coming.
He's crushing it. This is like I
Look
said.
at that.
This is another bit of home cooking. He's not gonna be fazed by anything. If there's an error, it will be purely a matter of a slip up. He mentally is totally prepared to go into this ending and hit every last note.
And here we go. So let's see how he does in the back half. You've got to be kidding me.
I told you.
Yep.
No problems. He knows exactly when he needs to face right and exactly when he needs to face left.
That stop was so clean. Like, did you see him? Oh,
Yep.
so good.
I told you.
Are you kidding me? This is the cleanest run on GR we've seen all day.
I mean,
wow!
I told you.
Bravo!
I
Bravo!
told you. Let's go
Bravo!
Infinity, baby!
Absolutely.
Sorry
wow!
for peeking the mic
You called
there.
it. There's the
Sorry for
PFC.
peeking the mic.
No, you're good.
I called it though.
You're good. PFC, can we get a clip
my
of
boy.
that? Right.
I told you we'd do it.
Oh my God. This is awesome. If there's anybody on the Ohio DDR social media team, screen cap that, send it out. We have got, I believe, our first PFC of the tournament. And
I
it
think
came
so.
on the most awkward song for most players. Wow, what a
Team Florida.
representation.
Team Florida, baby.
Oh,
Team
that's it.
Florida,
Yeah,
baby.
the Florida boys are built
So
different.
it looks like, from my memory, we're going to have Hudson and Harujun going on. Harujun's performance than Dreads was slightly worse on Monolith, but his performance on Reverie was better by enough that it's going to be those two. We're going to be tallying the results, but I'm pretty much positive, just off mental math, that we have Harujun, Hudson, Matt Miller, and John Tran as our final
it has
three.
to be.
Final
I mean,
four.
that's it, right? So.